Hey guys, so I kind of don't know what to talk about today. An unfamiliar phrase for me, I know. The thing is that there's been a lot of stories in the news lately that have been on my mind, and I want to talk about them, but I don't know how to talk about them, and I don't want to do a bad job. And this doesn't have anything to do with like being a failure kind of thing. This is just like, I don't want to inadvertently spread misinformation. I don't want to accidentally say something that could be taken out of context, like, oh, she's a hypocrite or something bad. I feel guilty trying to make a vlog about like selfies or makeup or boys or whatever. So I'm gonna try to talk about a few stories that I've been thinking about, and I'm gonna try my best to talk about them in I don't know, my own way. The first story is that Bruce Jenner came out as transgender on Friday. Now, I'm not a fan of Bruce Jenner. I don't mean that like disrespectfully. I wasn't alive when Bruce was in the Olympics, and I never watched the Kardashian show. But just as one human for another human, I have a lot of respect for Bruce. I can't even imagine the amount of courage it takes to come out as a public figure. So I just want to send out my love and my support and my acceptance. The problem with this story is that people aren't very familiar with being transgender. And when people aren't familiar with something, they are scared and they're uncomfortable, and they tend to say mean things because they just don't understand. They don't know how else to deal with it. It gets hard because even though I have no affiliation with Bruce Jenner, it hurts my feelings to hear the things that people say, like, oh, you know, he, she, and she makes an ugly woman and a man, and, you know, stuff like that. It bothers me because, like I said, I'm an outsider on this story, so I can't even imagine someone who is transgender having to listen to these comments. I had a friend come out as transgender a few years ago, and that's when it all became very real to me. And I know that it would devastate me if someone said those things about him, and it would later on just like piss me off if someone would to try to say something like that about him. I don't know, I'm just kind of like a mother hen, and I hate that, and part of me wants this story to quiet down so that I don't have to hear these comments, but that's probably like my privilege talking, because just because the story goes away doesn't mean that these comments will stop. They won't end with Bruce Jenner, and that just, it breaks my heart. The other two stories are the earthquake in Nepal recently and Freddie Gray and all of the riots happening in Baltimore. These are two stories that, like, I physically just can't do it, because when I think about it, I just get so heartbroken, and so just, it makes me just like not want to get out of bed, because I don't know what to do about these things. In some ways I really can't do anything. In terms of Nepal, you know, they have a death toll of almost 5,000, and that's just, I can't comprehend that, and I can just encourage anyone watching to try to donate anything that they can to relief efforts. I know I need to do that, but even so, I feel like it's like not enough, because I would love to give more, but I don't know what else to do. In terms of Baltimore and Freddie Gray, I think it's just scary when I see these images of policemen, you know, and tear gas and running around with those shield things. All I can think about is the Hunger Games. You know, tangent time. Whenever I read post-apocalyptic type books, there's always a part of me that's like, could this happen? And, you know, I hope the world doesn't come to this. And when I read the Hunger Games, I was like, holy crap, our world is exactly like this. When I saw Mockingjay, there was all these riots happening in Ferguson, and I cried during the movie, because I was like, it doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like I'm watching news footage, and I can't handle it. Seeing these images in Baltimore on the news, it's overwhelming. Again, I really don't know what to do in this situation, and I don't think that there's anything that I can do in this situation. We're frustrated. I think as a nation, we're frustrated that this situation just keeps repeating itself, and the people in power are just trying to ignore it. Like, no, you're imagining things, or, you know, in terms of like Black Lives Matter, no, all lives matter, how dare you, you're making it racist, and it's just like, no, stop. It's so hard, and I know there's not just like a one quick fix. I feel guilty because these posts are, you know, come up on Facebook or they come up on Tumblr, and I feel like I need to reblog, you know, this child is missing, and we need to remember all the other people who have been killed in similar ways. I can't repost these things. It's not that I don't want to, and I hope people can understand that sometimes I have to reblog a kitten biting a puppy, because if I think about these situations too long, I don't want to get out of bed because I don't know what to do. We're at a time where we should be making progress with things, where we shouldn't have these conversations, and it's still happening. And I feel like instead of getting better or even staying the same, we're just like declining. I don't know if this video made any sense. I just didn't feel right talking about other things. Sometimes there are just more important things than my opinions on dating or whatever I talk about. Please, I hope people understand that it's not that I don't care about these things. It's kind of that I care so much that I can't think about it for very long, and I feel so powerless and so small because I don't know if there's even a way to fix it. That's today's vlog. I hope it made sense. No script. So, I hope it was okay, and I will see you guys tomorrow for my last VEDA video.